Seriously, Pags was a great teammate, a terrific player. He had big shoes to fill with Greg Nettles, one of the best third basemen since Brooks Robinson. Believe me, Mike had his own bag of tricks at third. In over 1,000 games, he only had 133 errors. Couple that with his left-handed swing that was ideal for right field in Yankee Stadium. With his uni always dirty, his hard-nosed style captured the hearts of Yankee fans as well as his teammates. Always a student of the game, it's no wonder that he was an outstanding hitting coach with the Marlins and now special assistant with the Nationals. He worked with future stars such as young Marlin hitters Giancarlo Stanton when he hit his 59 homers, Christian Yelich, who became an MVP, two-time All-Star Marcell Ozuna, and one of the best catchers in baseball, JT Realmuto. Because of his 40 years in baseball as a player, coach, and now executive, the IABF has chosen to recognize Mike Pagliarulo as the 2022 Achievement Award winner. Come on up, Mike.
Cheap shot there, it's all right. Take it. Thank you much. Buona suerte. Grazie per suerte. This grande onore. That's it. That's all I know. But the tie is a big hit. IBF is a fabulous organization. For me, it's about support. It's about family. It's about how I grew up. I feel like I'm home. Playing in New York, I loved playing for the Yankees. I loved every minute of it. And the funny thing is, I was supported by the Yankees. I felt like I was home all the time. And my best day as a Yankee was when my first old timers day. I was up 2 weeks in the big leagues, and I go to the ballpark, and there's a crowd. I couldn't believe this crowd. And then I walked into the locker room, and there's all these Yankees with pinstripes, and they were having the best time of their life. And I said, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So I walked to my locker, which was in the back, right? And they didn't know me. And so I go back there, and Joe DiMaggio's in my locker, and I said, oh my God, I wanted to touch him, Mr. DiMaggio. And I said, it's all right if I get my spikes out of here. Hey, Pegs, how you doing? I like the way you play, kid. And I'm like, oh my God, he knows my name. And so he was the nicest guy. And I said, what? This is a great experience. And then all of a sudden, the loud noise came to a halt when the doors opened up, and in comes Mickey Mantle and Billy Martin come walking in the locker room. And, then it really started to get crazy in there. And then all of a sudden, Mickey goes, hey, Billy, is that the kid over there? And he was pointing in my direction. And Donnie Mattingly's locker was right next to mine. And I said, Donnie, they want you for something. Because they ain't pointing at me, man. They're looking at you. And I said, what? So they come over to me. And now all these greatest Yankees are in uniform, and they're looking at me. And I was sweating like you can't believe. I was so nervous, and I was never that nervous. And it's Mickey Mantle. I'm in the place that I want to be at. And all of a sudden, here comes Mickey. He comes over, and he grabs me by the collar, drags me across the room into the training room, starts punching me in the side, hitting me in the stomach, and I'm like, what the hell's he doing? I don't dare hit him back. And he goes, hey, kid, I like the way you play. My name's Mick. He said, welcome to the family. He said, give me a call anytime you need anything. And then Billy said, hey, I'm Billy, how you doing? And they were both laughing, and they left, and I'm sitting there on this training table going, what the heck just happened? Support from one of my managers, Billy. I love Billy Martin. I really did. He was great. But he had a different way of showing support. It wasn't really nice talk to you. It was kind of, what's the matter with you, Dago? Can't you get more than one hit today? What's the matter? I'd have made that play yesterday. Why you can't make that play, Dago? I said, hey, Billy, come on. I don't know if my grandfather, you like me calling Dago all the time. He said, hey, listen, the only reason why you're in the lineup is because you're Italian. Okay? All right. But Billy was great. They were playing, it takes 106 degrees out. It was awful. And first at bat, I got like a double. Then I walked and I hit a homer. And I'm at the end of the bench in the seventh inning with an ammonia towel over my head, ready to throw up. And here comes Billy walking down the bench, and he never walks down the bench. And he goes, hey, Dago, you're finally relaxed, huh? I said, Billy, that's terrible. I said, I don't have to do that again, do I? He goes, no, dummy, go back and get some rest. You're playing tomorrow night. But that was his way of showing, he just needed to relax. But he was very supportive also.
Once in your life, you find her, someone who turns your heart around, and next thing you know, you're closing down the town. What you can do is fall in love.
Martin, and this is Worth the Price of Admission. We are live on the Chapters Network, and we are also broadcasting on live for Tan Talk Radio Network in Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay, Florida, on FM 106.1, 102.3, 104.3, AM 1340, 1350, and 1400. My guest tonight is Mike Pagliarulo. He is with the Washington Nationals in the capacity as Special Assistant General Manager to National President Mike Rizzo. For both of our interviews and for our viewers and listeners, Mike has a lot to tell us tonight. This interview is being done in two parts. Tonight we will talk about a great many rule changes in baseball, and next week, part two, we will dive into who Mike is. Pags, as Mike is fondly called, was viewed as a player with great passion, team spirit, and a fan favorite who played the game the right way. What's the right way? We're going to find out. Yeah. Never afraid to stand up for himself. His 32 home runs in 1987 made him one of only 3 New York Yankee third basemen to ever top 30 home runs. Let's take a look at one of those exciting moments.
Bases loaded, and Pagliarulo hits it high and deep to right. Way back, grand slam. We're going home. The Yankees win it 11-7.
So welcome, Pags.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. Tell us about that moment.
Oh, that was a pretty great moment for me. I mean, Jeff Reardon was a closer and one of the best in the game, and we were playing the Twins. And I got a good pitch hit with the bases loaded, and ended the game. That was a great night. So I wish it could last longer than that. Just run the bases. I wish she kept going, but it was great.
Here we go.
A lot of fun.
You played in a recent golf tournament for the Hall of Famer Joe Namath at his celebrity golf tournament last week. And how is it, a professional athlete as yourself, who's had experience more than their fair of publicity, being in the public eye, meeting people, but gets starstruck while you're there, meeting Bobby Orr?
Well, growing up in Boston, first of all, I never missed a hockey game, whether it was on television or going to the Boston Garden. And actually, when I was when I signed, I used to wear a black T-shirt with a B on it. Most of the guys on the team didn't even know what the B stood for. And I just, Bruin, what's the matter? They didn't know hockey. So, but I always wanted to be, number 4, and played. I wanted to play ice hockey, and I had my stick with the one piece of tape. And so when I saw him, he was just he's the greatest guy in the world, and everybody loves him in Boston. He's a gentleman, and so when you go up to him, I don't know what to say sometimes. I just wanted to almost like hug him or something. I don't know. But I didn't really make a fool of myself. But one of the best things was in their catalog, my picture's right next to his. So I took that picture and sent it home to my brother, my sister, and everybody. They loved it.
That's great. So you now hold the position with Washington Nationals as assistant to president and GM Mike Rizzo. How did this come about?
Well, a couple of years ago in 2022, right after New Year's, I got a call from Mike Rizzo. He said, Pags, he goes, and I had known Mike in the past and met with him a few times, but he said, look, I've got an opportunity for you. And at the time, I was actually negotiating with the Staten Island team to manage that club. The owner of the club wanted me to come in and do that, but Mike Rizzo's a good guy. He's, he did won a World Series in 2019, and he's a straight shooter and a good baseball guy. And so, I said, sure, I'll listen to it. So he sent me the terms, and we did the deal. So, this is my second year with them, and I'm doing some more stuff with them this year. And
what's your day consist of?
My day consists of. There's a couple of teams I'm responsible for, my regular coverage, but also they want me doing some advanced scouting this year. But being so close to West Palm Beach now, I live in Jupiter. I'm at the ballpark every day, and so I go out and hang out in the batting cages with the batting coaches and the hitters. And so I'm the only guy not in uniform. But Mike kind of likes that, and all the other guys did too. So I just try to stay in my lane. I try to stay in my lane, but I'm around baseball, so it's all good.
Good. Okay, so the game has changed since you were a player. So we're going to talk some rule changes: the shift, bigger bases, the pitch clock, and the pickoffs. Break down the shift for me, Pags.
The shift, first of all, I would hear from guys when I get back in the game as coach, they said, well, the game's changed. I said, the game's not changed. The game's the same. It's just managed differently or it's played differently by different players. I said, but you have to do the same things all the time to win. If you want to be the champion, you have to play the same way. So, with the changes this year, they're a little difficult to understand, but the bases and everything, the reason why they want to make it more exciting, well, hire good coaches. And they'll make it more exciting because they're not taught. I believe, it's my opinion, that they're not taught well enough to steal bases. No one talks about stealing bases. I know Lou Brock told Ricky Henderson a couple of things about stealing a base, about the technique of stealing. I never hear that anymore. Never talk about that. They basically sit back and play station to station. But the shift thing is, Cal Ripken used to shift me over second base, and Billy didn't want me to hit the ball the other way. I remember one time I tried to bunt just to get on base, and I came in after the inning, and he said, "What the heck are you doing over there trying to bunt that ball?" I said, "Well, I was just trying to get on base, Billy." He goes, "I don't give a damn." He said, "I got guys getting bunt. You hit the ball in the seats, will you please?" So the shift wasn't for me. I was going to do the same thing, but the other guys, they should be able to hit the ball over there. I don't know why they don't. Again, sometimes it's about coaching, and sometimes it's about philosophy.
It changes the manager's strategy for sure.
Yeah, and they put right fielders over there, and it's hard for the players, I think, because you got a third baseman, he's got to run all the way over to second or short right field now, and then run all the way back. I'm like, what? Let him play in one place and let him play good at one place first before he starts going all over the place. But that's how they're doing it, and it looks kind of strange.
The one I like the most here is the bigger bases. Okay, so I think I shared with you, I know a few guys in heaven who knows a guy who would think that this was fabulous, losing about 6 inches.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, at first I thought it was for safety reasons, but they want to make the game more exciting is what's said in the rules, I guess. And again, for me, it's just about managers and coaches teaching guys to steal bases, teaching them to take the extra bases. That's exciting baseball, and you see that on world champion teams. You don't see that with teams that finish in last place. So hopefully this wasn't designed for the last place teams, because the fans don't really care, I don't think, about the bases. They just want to see guys running, and whether they get thrown out or not. It's exciting. And heck, I used to steal actually, and there were certain times that Tom Kelly or Billy, they'd make me run. And today they just don't do it.
So would you have liked those? Let's see, we got 3 inches on each side here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I would have got a few more hits. Beat out a couple balls. Ricky Henderson would have got a bunch more hits.
I can't even imagine. To be able to just those 6 inches, thinking about, sliding in. I just think they would have had a field day with it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about the fast guys, the real fast guys that were really great players. Tony Gwynn and Devon White, Gary Pettis, those guys could fly. They would get hits all over the place. They'd probably still be playing.
And I guess all the stats, both in the minors and the majors, that steal bases have rocketed. Because that's so, and it's fun. Stealing bases is fun.
Yep. It is fun. It's good. It's part of the game.
So home plate didn't change. Do you think it makes a difference between the other 6 inches but we only have 3 inches between first and third home and third and first and home?
I don't know.
That's not very much.
Yeah, I really don't understand why they needed to do that. I don't think there was a big need to make the bases bigger, but the next thing is probably the strike zone at home plate. They're going to probably work on that, make that different. It's funny, they have a tool that measures, whether it's a ball or a strike when it crosses the plate. Well, it's really 3-dimensional. The strike zone, it has depth to it, about 15, 18 inches deep, and so a ball could come in from the side. So if it misses the front, they don't call it a strike, but it could be a strike anyway. It's all these rules that aren't really defined as well as they could be. There were never many rule changes when we played. They changed the equipment. They changed the padding on the walls if someone got hurt or something like that, or the helmets. But it was never about the game. And I don't think people, they ask me all the time, the fans, do you like it? Do you like the clock? Do you like this or the bases? I said, I don't think a pitcher should be thinking about the clock at the end of the game.
Which is my next one. I mean, that's amazing. My first question is that the rules for the minors are different than the majors in how many seconds? Why is that? I mean, shouldn't it all be the same? Or
yeah, I think they're trying to see which one works best, and someone's got to be the guinea pig, and it's too bad. I think what happens is you have these changes, and you have the clock, and baseball is so difficult to play. It really is. I mean, you think about a guy throwing a ball that hard, and the time you have to hit it, make a decision to swing the bat with a round bat and a ball, and it's just so hard. So, when that stuff comes around, and you have all these the clock. I want my pitcher. If I'm on the field, I want him thinking about the plate. I want him thinking about the batter. I don't want him thinking about a clock. And if he's not, he could lose the game from a clock.
Okay, so just hypothetically, you're in a World Series. It's Game 7, bottom of the ninth. You got a full count, bases loaded, and the pitcher goes to wipe the sweat off his eyes, like he's not sweating already, right? And it becomes 21 seconds. So then me, the fan, I go in there going, I came here to watch the game's over. Like, can that happen like that?
Sure it can, and that's terrible if it does. But I kind of liked it when the umpires controlled it, and maybe you should just have the umpires have a little bit more control at the time, and let them issue some warnings, because they have a sense of the pace of the game. Because they don't let players change their style. They want them to keep their style, even though Tommy John was slower, or something like that. They let them do that, but. You work around that stuff, and guys have personalities on the field too. Now it's kind of like you're making them robots. Everyone has to pitch quick, and not everybody can pitch quick, and not everybody can get in there and get ready quick.
That's right.
It's some of those things that are a little strange, but I don't know. But there's also the gaming situation with betting on baseball with the casinos and everything. I know in tennis they put the clock there because there were tons of bets on in between shots, so they put the clock there for that reason. I don't know if they did it for that reason in baseball, but they could have.
And is this a correlation between the pitch clock and more position players pitching?
It could be. That would be really terrible. Then I wouldn't even watch the game after that happened.
All right, so let's go to pickoffs.
Pickoffs is, so you get 2 moves or whatever, 3 moves, and if you don't pick the guy off, then if you don't pick him off, then he goes to second base. Or if you go the third time, you have to go if he's not out. And if he is out, well, you better make sure that you don't get in a rundown with him, because if you get in a rundown with him and he goes to second base, then that's a balk again. So, and if there's any other runners on base, they have to move ahead too. It's kind of weird, because if you're picking off a guy at first base 3 times and there's guys on second and third and you balk over there, those guys get to score or move forward, which makes no sense. So I don't know if these rules were drawn up overnight or at lunch or whatever, but I'm trying to think of the thought that went into it, and I think they could have made that one a little bit different. Granted, have the umpire say, "All right, don't throw over it anymore." We'll do something. Have the umpire step in, call timeout, and say, "Look, this is what you got to do. You can't do that anymore."
And the pitcher must get worried, after the second try. The pressure's on. Is the guy going to run? Am I supposed to pitch?
Right. And the strategy around that, a lot of strategy is, make the guy get a huge lead now and take off, or they jump around over there. I saw that last night in the game. The guys are jumping around at first base. I'm like, what the heck? It's not baseball. I don't know what that is, So they're just trying to different things, and it's just part of the game that people are going looking at, scratching their heads, going, "Why are they doing that? I don't understand that." I kind of liked it when Ricky was on the bases, or somebody else that he was going to steal. That's intense enough. Just watching that.
Wondering what he's doing behind you,
or
to the side of you. Right?
Yeah,
yes,
the pitcher's worried about it, the catcher's worried about it, the fans worried about it.
He's got to worry about
steal.
the 6 inches.
Yeah, or the clock, or the number of pickoffs.
Sure.
Yeah, it was pretty cool the way it was before.
Position players pitching. Too many players taking the mound. I mean, part of me says it's to save the bullpen, but then what do I know?
Well, when you teach your starters to only go 5 innings, I mean, back in the day, and I hate to be one of those guys saying, "Oh, when we used to do it." Well, but the guys thought that they had to pitch 7, 8 innings to finish the game, and today they only think they have to go 5, and then they're out. So you can burn through a bullpen quick as hell, and that's not the way to do it. And so you end up having nothing out there. So you have to put your players in, but they shouldn't be out there. Players can get hurt. They can hurt their arms. They're not used to that position fielding, their position there, and they're just not. They're not used to it, and I don't think it's very safe. Actually, I mean, someone else can get hurt, and it's not. It's funny for a second, but other than that, it's not part of the game. I don't think people used to do that before, unless they could legitimately throw. But in AAA, they could probably do it because they're a little. The rosters are a little smaller, and they have to watch who they throw because the guy might get called up. So I can see it going on there. But in the big leagues, you have plenty of guys in the bullpen. They could throw in 1 inning. Heck, the guys only throw 1 inning. The guys in the bullpen, they don't throw more than an inning. You should be able to do that 5 times a week, shouldn't you? That's what I'm thinking.
And how many positions did you play in the major leagues?
I played. Let me see. Well, it was third base. I played one day at shortstop, and then first base with Baltimore in Texas. So,
but you were a third base kind of guy.
Third base, yeah. When I went to college, I was a shortstop, and immediately when I went down to Miami, I looked and I saw these shortstops, and I saw 5 guys all better than me. I was, oh my gosh, what the heck? I don't have range like that. But I stayed there because I could throw with all of them, I could hit with all of them, and they had good range. So I just moved over to third, and then that's how I did it. But I learned a lot of stuff there too. That was a great experience also.
So at the end of the day, with all of these rules, who wins? The players, owners, management, fans? Who's the winner in all of this?
MLB's the winner because they get to call the shots, and they're in control of everything. They control, they manage a lot of things now. Each organization, a lot of the stuff that goes on in the field is managed by the front office. Managers don't even make decisions. They're sent to them. The decisions are sent to them to move they have to make late in the game. Pinch hit.
I don't know if that would have gone real well in my family.
Oh my God, Billy! Oh, forget it. Lou, Billy, neither one of those guys. I mean, I was fortunate. I played for 5 managers that managed World Series champions. So I learned a lot from these guys. They were so similar, and they didn't want to be interfered with at all. So and so now that kind of the winner really is. I don't understand why they're doing it, but some people want to do things just to have control, and MLB has control of that stuff. And, I hope they do some good things with it. I just don't know if it's good right now.
I ran across some friends the other night, and we were all talking about, what it took really to dive deep inside of yourself to be a champion. Obviously passion, heart, guts, but when you're just going for the absolute ultimate and you don't think you have anything left, where do you think it comes from?
Well, I think some of that's innate, some of it's taught to you. It's something that you have to find something that motivates you and
you're passionate about, right?
Yeah. And if you don't have the passion, then you
You're lost.
Then you can't play because everybody on the field's got it.
Okay. What was it like playing for Billy?
It was great. First of all, I love Billy. It was such a sad day that Christmas Day. I remember so clearly, unfortunately. And but Billy was great, and he was such a ball buster. I mean, he would, hey, there you go. What's the matter? Can't you get more than one hit today? I could hit that guy, for God's sakes. Or, I could make that play. Can't you make that play to your left? What the hell's the matter with you, Dago? And, he was just, that's how they did things back then. They would rib you all the time. But I like Billy because as a player, I wanted the smartest manager in baseball to manage my team. And I don't care how he treated me. I just want him to be the smartest guy on the field. And fortunately, I felt like I had that. When I was in New York, I definitely had that. And Billy was one of the sharpest guys. He could anticipate and see the field differently. You know, Tom Kelly was like that. Lou Piniella was like that. You know, they could just see the field differently, and they knew what was going to happen. They could anticipate. And, you know, some moves he made, to some people are crazy, but it wasn't crazy. There was a reason for everything he did. And, you know, I loved him. And he aired me out a couple of times too. But I remember one time we were in California, and there was a bunt play. It was an 8th inning tie game or something. And I threw the ball to second base, and you're supposed to get an out. Well, the throw took the second baseman off base, and I come off the field at the end of the inning, and Billy, Pagliarulo, and I'm like, oh my God, he's not no more dumb Dago. And he goes, and I started answering him back, and he get out of here. So I went at the end of the bench, and man, I felt bad. We lost the game, and now I'm in my locker, and all of a sudden, Cleat Boyd comes up to me and said, "Hey, Billy wants to see you in the office." I went, "Oh, I can't believe this. No, I'm going to get sent to the minors. I know I'm going to get sent down." And there he is with a newspaper in his face. I said, "Yeah, what's up, Bill?" And he said, Dago, let me ask you something. What the hell were you thinking on that play? I said, Billy, I had the guy. I said, I was in a one hopper. I said, but in California, the grass gets a little wet at night, and I didn't realize that. He said, what would you do next time? I said, first of all, I'd check the grass. I said, and then I get the ball, I'd make sure I get an out somewhere. He goes, no, I get out of here. He just wanted to hear what I had to say. He wanted to hear the truth, you know. And he didn't want to hear a lie. You can't lie to him, you know. Oh, then he wouldn't like it all.
Not at all, huh? So, Mike, I want to thank you for coming here tonight. It was an honor. It's an education. And we're going to do part 2 for everybody. We do have 2 parts to this, and we're going to find out a little bit more about who Mike is. We're going to talk about his life in baseball, what he learned, family, and the education that he got. So I'm going to see you next week.
Good. I can't wait.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my friend.
Welcome back for another incredible show at Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater, Florida. Before you take your seat, here are some pre-show activities you can experience. When you arrive, you can enjoy convenient, free on-site self-parking, along with valet options and a convenient rideshare area. When you enter, take a moment to admire the revamped and expanded Grand Lobby that includes the Kate Tiedemann and Ellen Cotton Cabaret Theater and featured art by the world-famous Stephen Palladino. Take a photo as a keepsake. Looking for a quick snack or drink before the show? Make sure to use the new mobile ordering app by scanning the QR code, placing your order, and picking it up at the John Geigel Bar. This helps to beat lines and get your refreshments quick and easy. Additional concession stands are available in the Grand Concourse. At the east entrance of the building, the England Family Music Garden offers wonderful happy hour options, including a full-service bar, concessions like salads, sandwich wraps and smoothies, and live music to kick the night off right. Don't forget to get your picture taken with the garden's signature art piece, a sculpture by nationally renowned artist Clayton Schwartz. If you've got a bigger appetite, feel free to go upstairs to the Dimmitt Lounge, where we offer pre-show party options that include heavy appetizers and dessert. Packages start at $25 per person. Be sure to buy yours in advance. Want the ultimate VIP experience? Become a paid member and relax in the Hoffman Family Dress Circle Lounge, which offers a beautiful, exclusive area away from the crowds, along with fine wine options and other refreshments. On your way into the theater, make sure to grab our Spotlight program book. The time has arrived. Walk in, hand your ticket to an usher, and they'll help escort you to your seat. When the lights fade down, it's time to enjoy the world-renowned entertainment that only Ruth Eckerd Hall can offer.